And I'm currently a Year 12 at Harbour College as well as Hearing New Zealand's Youth Ambassador. Now, as you probably know, a few years ago I was just like you guys, anxiously waiting to see what award I'd take home and brag to my family and friends about for the next week. But I vividly remember sitting up there and my name hadn't been called out yet, and the award pile was getting less and less, and there was 3 awards and then 2 awards and 1, and I remember thinking to myself, they've made a mistake, I'm not meant to be here. And as I sunk into my seat with utter embarrassment, that's when I heard my friend's name, Alia, and my name get called up for the overall award. And it was just so surreal. But the cool thing about it was that this is kind of the place where I realized that my idea was going to become more than just a science project. I was going to take it further. So my concept was to create a device that would enable kids, or anyone that has a hearing disability, to get involved and play team sports just like me. And I know what you're thinking, big ambitions for a 13-year-old. But once I got past the whole how am I actually meant to achieve this phase, I did some research and everything kind of started to fall into place, to a certain degree. My main idea was to add a transmitter onto the referee's whistle and have the player wear a wristband that would light up and vibrate in response to the whistle, alerting the player of the referee's call. The first wristband receiver prototype that I made consisted of electronics of a cheap doorbell, LED lights, and a vibrator motor from a phone. And it looked a bit like this. Not the most attractive thing out there. But I ended up winning a bunch of awards, which kind of encouraged me to develop it further. So the next year, my second prototype, it looked a bit more like this. And what I kind of discovered was that I needed a bit more technology to achieve the goals, which was to make it a lot smaller and a lot more discreet. So I bought a 3D printer with some prize money, which meant I was able to shrink it all down and make it look a lot nicer. And yeah, so I won the overall award here, and this is kind of where it became the e-whistle. Now, although my prototype hasn't changed drastically in the past few years, I've actually been in communications with Auckland University and the head of Sport New Zealand to actually push it through and become more than just an idea and get it to be actually commercial, which is super cool. And this is the point where I became Hearing New Zealand's Youth Ambassador, an opportunity that changed my life. 1 in 5 Kiwis are affected with hearing loss. That's over 800,000 people, and that's just the people we know about. What's sad is that 60% of that's actually preventable. And what's even sadder is that this number is increasing massively each year, especially amongst our youth. So my job is to try keep that number from rising through becoming a Danish decibel educator and visiting schools, and try bringing to light a serious issue that to many people's surprise, and admittedly mine initially, doesn't just affect older people. So everything I've done with Hearing New Zealand has been to try bring to attention how serious this issue is from a younger perspective, and how easy in some cases it can actually be to prevent. Now, all of this I wouldn't have had if it wasn't for this thing right here. If someone told me Science Air would have me traveling New Zealand, speaking at conferences with hundreds of people, or even standing here tonight, I would have been in absolute disbelief. But as much as it's all scared me, I'm actually so thankful for the opportunity, as it's kind of shaped me to who I am today. So I think the message I want you students to hear tonight is that I know as a young student you don't feel like you have the power to make something remarkable or to change the world. But after looking and hearing about all your ideas tonight, I just want you to know that whatever award you walk away with tonight, please keep being curious and creative. Keep putting 110% of effort into everything, because that work ethic and out-of-the-box thinking will get you to extraordinary places that you just may not know yet. So best of luck for tonight, and thank you so much.